Jump ahead coach Chris Rusiewicz of Guilford College football. And coach, coming into this year, picked up some momentum as you were running through the league a little bit last year. Kind of an up and down season for you, but finished on a relatively strong note. Talk a little bit about what you see from your squad after coming from last year's team into this year's preseason.
You're definitely right. Winning 3 of the last 4 against, obviously opening up a win against Shenandoah, who's in first place at the time, and at home was huge for us as we were going through a lot of adversity that week. It was awesome. And I think we finished the season, down 21-0 at halftime, coming back to win that game 42-38 as we did. We felt it was back in 2014. We did that once before, and obviously had a great 2015 season coming out of that. So our offseason has been nothing but up, bright, exciting. They've been working hard. I think when we played with those 2 Division I teams early in the year, that put some hurt on our guys, physically and mentally. But I think the respond on that later in the year really paid off, and I think we're excited about where we're at.
You've got a key talisman back to your offense this year, and really your return game as well, with Derek Bell stepping back in for another season. Talk about your expectations for him now as his swan song, if you will, in his senior year, and what you see for your offense.
Derek, obviously, is not only a great player, but a great kid. He's come back, obviously, for his 5th year. A remarkable return man, but, with the rules of the kickoff return rules changing now, we got to find other ways to get the ball in his hands. And unbelievably enough, with all the yards he's had, he still have yet to have a 1,000-yard rushing season. So we feel that this year is going to be a heavy lead on him, especially with our offensive line being very young. We think we're talented, but they're very young, and I think that we're going to need to lean on him to be able to help those guys get confidence.
The question is what we see from the passing game from you right now. What do we have competition-wise at quarterback, but also wide receiver, as you've got some holes you need to fill there as well.
Right. Quarterback position's open. I think we're excited about. We have a young man, a sophomore, rising sophomore out of Georgia, Devin Williams, who's showed some great promise in the spring. The last year's backup, Joe Farrick, will be a senior. Very smart, very understands the offense very well. Has been in it obviously for now 4 years. And then we have a couple of young guys and a transfer coming in that we think are going to compete for the job as well. So it's going to be an exciting spring, or exciting summer, I should say, camp in terms of that position, because everybody knows quarterback's going to take you, no matter how good Derek is, no matter how good your offensive line is. We need a smart, good leader back there to be able to take us to the next direction. Actually, receiver, we feel we're very comfortable because even though we're filling in parts, what's exciting is that we have a lot of talent. With a lot of depth. And we feel we have 8 guys that can play, including a rising junior, Evan Carnes, who played tight end for us, that is playing around 215, 220 right now, and can go out there and play in the slot and play at the tight end, play in the backfield, and has grown up a lot. So, we have some size on the edge. We got some speed inside. We got some backup running backs and so forth that we feel could also help us in the slot. But we're very excited, with where we're at. Monteek Johnson had a very good year for us last year, and on the outside, and coming back for his senior year. And I think like I said, we're very solid on offense. We just got to make sure our offensive line can mature, grow up, and go out there and push people around.
When you came on as head coach, defense is really what was the game changer for Guilford College football, and you've been able to retool that over the years, and I think you've got another retooling option coming this year with several key guys gone from last year's squad. Talk a little bit about what you see from the defensive side of the ball this year.
Well, everybody understands the game. It all starts up front on both sides. In our defensive line, we got 8 guys that had a lot of playing time last year and a lot of reps, a lot of starts that are also very young. We got Jared Russ, who I believe was second in the conference with sacks, or tied, I guess, for first in the conference with sacks, coming back for a junior year. We got 2 interior linemen, Darius Patterson, who's come back as a 4-year player for us inside. We got 2 young guys at our weak side defensive end spot. One of them should have been probably Zach Lasser, been starting for us this past year as the year went on, but had a high ankle sprain midway through the season, just couldn't play the rest of the year. So we're excited about the strength of our defensive line, and obviously it's going to help us in a lot of ways. We have decided this year in the spring, because of the ODAC used to be very pass-oriented. It seems to be going more into the run-oriented, which is good. So we decided to add another linebacker to our defense this year. We're going to a 4-3, a traditional 4-3 defense with some of the 4-2 concepts. So I think we're excited about that opportunity and getting a third linebacker out there. Trayvon Simmons was a safety for us for 2 years, moved to linebacker last year as a junior, had an all-conference performance year, so he'll be back, and we're excited about him. Bryce Smith, who ended up starting 2 years ago for us at linebacker at the end of the season as a freshman, tore his ACL last spring, so he's back now healthy and fresh. And so we feel we're really good there too as well. Our secondary is going to be the hardest battle for us. We're losing a lot of talent back there, but we have a lot of young guys that are eager and ready to play, and we feel obviously as long as we have that front 4, we should have a good shot back there.
You mentioned the change in the ODAC landscape a little bit from pass-happy to more run-oriented offenses, and I think you're absolutely right when you take a look at the production we've had out of the running back position. And that gets further strengthened with the addition of Ferrum this year, and Brian Mann is their 1,600-yard back there. He had 4 200-yard games, I think. So you had another running like that. But talk a little bit about, expand more about what you see from the league this year, especially with Ferrum coming in and a coaching change at Washington and Lee that probably won't change your style, at least in the short term.
Right. Like I said, I mean, we're starting to realize, I guess, in the ODAC that, running wins championships. And I mean, even look at the Hampton Sydneys and even the Shenandoahs. I mean, for as much as they like to throw the football, they've had some really good backs the last couple of years. And, when it comes down to trying to win a game, especially in the ODAC, when you look at those scores week in and week out, and they're, 7 to 10 point games, you got to be able to run the ball at some point. And I think that everybody in the league has found that back. You go to vote all conference, and it's like such a slew of great running backs out there. De'Eric Bell every year gets that all-purpose area, but he's just as good as the rest of the backs. I think everybody would say that too. So it's a fun, and I think people are starting to play better defense too. For that reason. So it's fun. It's exciting. I think I'm looking forward to it more than any year this year, especially with adding another conference foe that I think is going to be right in the mix with everybody else, as we've had the opportunity to scrimmage Ferrum the last couple of years, and they're a very good football club.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for joining me today, and good luck this season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.